Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Modestus Onyirioha. Today, in this video, I am going to teach you how to respond to this most difficult interview question. What are your strengths and your weaknesses? This has become the most difficult interview question for employees. Alright, so in this video, I am going to give you the best answer to this question and how you can answer this question. Alright, then when an employer asks you this question about your strengths and your weaknesses, there are three things you can do when you want to answer about your strengths. Alright, and there are two things you should take cognizance of when you want to answer about your weaknesses. Alright, for your strengths, make sure that the points you are giving for your strengths are very strong points that could be very useful for that job position you are looking for. Because there are three reasons why employers ask this question, and the better you know these reasons, the good for you. Alright, because if you know the reason why these questions are asked, that will give you the very nice way to answer this question or to respond to these questions. Alright, so I'm going to give you three reasons why employers ask these questions. Alright, the reason number one, the employer wants to know if your strengths are being for this job you are looking for. Number two, the employers want to assess if there is any of your strengths that could match these job requirements that they want to offer you or that you are looking for. And number three, the employer wants to know how creative you are in your reasoning. Alright, so that is why they want to know your strengths. Alright, now talking about your weaknesses, the employer also wants to know if there are some weaknesses that could be a very difficult challenge for you to do this job. Alright, remember, at the core function, at the primary objective of what employers actually want is the best candidate who will deliver. Alright, the best candidate who will give them the best of services. Alright, so that is the reason why they want to know about your strengths and your weaknesses, and that will refer me to the last video I did, Tell Me About Yourself. It will also refer me to the other video I did, Why Should We Hire You? So if you have not watched these two videos, make sure you go to my video timeline right here in this channel and watch those videos. Alright, so today we are going to discuss about your strengths and your weaknesses. So right now, having known the reason why employers usually ask this question, right now I'm going into giving you the very best answer to these questions. But if you have not subscribed to my channel, come on, the only thing you can do to motivate and encourage me is by hitting on that subscribe button. Alright, hit on that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, like this video. Alright, give me a thumbs up. Alright, share this video. Then if you have any question at the end of this video, then you can ask your question. After watching this video, you ask your question. I'm going to reply within 24 hours. Alright, so stay to the end of this video and make sure you don't skip any part of this video. Watch to the end of this video. Let's go on. Alright, now before you answer this question, tell me what are your strengths and your weaknesses. There are some things you need to consider, or the things you need to do before you answer these questions. Number one, make sure the points you are giving as your strengths goes in line with the job position you are looking for. Alright, then number two, make sure you give a scenario, alright, or you give examples of your achievement, alright, or the skills you possess. Make sure you give an achievement where you have used it in the past, where you have used it and achieved a very good result. Alright, then when you want to answer about your weaknesses, make sure, I repeat, make sure you did not mention anything that will disqualify you. Number two, make sure the weaknesses you are selecting or you want to use is not the basic requirement for that job position you are looking for. Because if it is the basic requirement for that job position you are looking for, definitely you are going to disqualify yourself and you are going to fail the interview. Why? Because the employer is looking for the best candidate who will do this job. The employer is looking for a candidate who has a very small weaknesses that could be amendable. So that is why if you want to talk about your weaknesses, make sure they are ordinary skills, alright, that you can work on. That is why immediately you talk about your weaknesses, make sure you back it up with amendments that you're going to improve, or you are currently working on it in order to do what? To improve. Make sure you do that, all right? So that employer will see you as a critical thinker. Employer will see you as someone who is ready to learn and someone who works with his IQ, his or her IQ. All right, so right now I'm going to give you 9 points, 9 good strength points you can use to defend yourself before employers or recruitment managers. All right, when they ask you what are your strengths and your weaknesses, I'm going to divide it into 2 parts. The first part, I'm going to give you the right words you can use when you want to talk about your strengths, and the other part, I'm going to give you the best answer or the right words you're going to use when you want to answer your weaknesses. So I'm going to give you 9 points. After that 9 points, I will give you additional 5 points, all right, that you can use to defend yourself before your employer when they ask you about your strengths and your weaknesses. All right, so right now, let us go into the matter. Number 1, strong communication skill. Come on. Tell your employer or the recruitment managers that you have a very strong communication skill, that this has been your strength, that this has been your strategy, especially when it comes to sales. All right, for example, marketing manager or business development manager. So looking at it right now, you will know that the core function of a marketing manager is to do what? To drive sales. All right, so you can tell the recruitment managers or the HR managers or the panel that you have this special communication skill that you use in your marketing, that you use in your sales. All right, that is a very strong and primary objective that you use when you want to make sales, and that has formed your ultimate strength. All right, so you can equally provide a scenario where you have been able to use your communication strategy to drive massive sales. All right, so number 2, adaptability. You can tell your recruitment managers or your HR manager that you can adapt to any environment you find yourself. All right, that you have this adaptable nature, conform yourself to any changing circumstances. All right, that you are a kind of person who doesn't succumb when you find yourself in a new environment. All right, you do everything possible to make sure you play along. All right, so if you're talking about this, you'll be very, very committed in your explanation. All right, so the panel, all right, we know that you are actually the right candidate for this job. Then number 3, problem solving. You must have to use problem solving as one of your strengths. All right, because every employer is looking for the best candidate who will deliver. All right, take for example, you open the company. All right, it took you so much number of time, years to save this money, and you open a company. If you want to employ workers, what do you need to do? What are you going to do? Definitely you are going to get the best candidates who will do what? Who will drive the company forward. You're going to look for people who will do what? Who will give you the desired goal, which is growth. Right? So this is exactly what is happening when it comes to interview. Try to understand that employer is looking for the best candidate, and see this as an opportunity for you to do what? For you to market yourself very well. Reason, because you're not the only candidate applying for this job position. All right, so use this opportunity to market yourself, present yourself in a very brilliant and disciplined manner. All right, be courageous, be bold, and speak to your employers. All right, the recruitment panel, when they're looking at you, you look back at them. All right, you conform to absolute humility and obedience. All right, but when you are giving your responses, make sure you are hitting the nail at the point, because as you are giving them all these answers, they are writing it down. That is why most of these recruitment managers or the HR managers or the recruitment panel, before your interview, they already kept their diaries and their pen before they started calling you guys one by one after the other. All right, so that any point you are making, they are writing it down. After noting it down, they will now use it to know who is the best candidate, who gave the very strong point. All right, so that is why problem solving has come in play, and it is a very, very strong skill that you can use to defend yourself in any kind of interview. when you were asked what are your strengths and your weaknesses. So this is a basic strength for you. Problem solving. Employer is looking for someone who would prefer a good solution to his problems. And what is his problem? His problem is how to make the company work, how to drive the company forward, how to make profit, how to make massive gain. Alright, because the primary objective of every business is to do what? Is to succeed, is to break record and make good success. Right? So you are a problem solver. Let the employer know that you are a problem solver. Then you can bring in a scenario where you have been able to use your skills, your educational skills, your qualification, your experiences, alright, to break record. So this is exactly what the employer or the recruitment manager is looking for. Someone who is coming to solve problems. Alright? So there are so many problems. Let me give you an example. That woman who is selling food inside the market is solving problem. She is solving problem of hunger. Alright? So that is why you are paying her for the services she is providing for you. Alright? Because she has to go to the market, buy the food stuff, buy everything, bend down, go to the kitchen, cook the food and bring it and present it to you. So you are paying her for the services. Alright? So she is solving your problem. And what problem is she solving? Problem of hunger. Alright, so the same thing applies in every ramification. A musician who is singing today, he is solving your problem. He wants to use his music, his communication through music to do what? To solve your problems. Either he's singing a Christian song to you, that when you're listening to those Christian songs, you are motivated, you are uplifted, your spiritual life becomes active. So he can make you to sleep. Alright, so they are solving problems. Entertainers, alright, comedians, they make you to laugh. So they are solving your problems. So when you laugh, you feel like you feel like you have reduced your blood pressure. Alright, so there are a lot of problems that people are solving. So you as an applicant, you are going to solve employer's problem. Reason, because employer cannot do everything. His money cannot even do everything. So that is why he needs you. Right? So you are a problem solver in this company. You want to work, right? Then number 4, leadership skill. Alright? So you tell your recruitment managers or the HR manager, alright, that you have these leadership skills. You have the power to coordinate leadership, to coordinate, to make a group of people to behave in a certain manner that is acceptable within a social setting. Power of coordination, power of leadership. Alright, so you have this leadership skill. So if you are, for example, applying for a marketing manager, this leadership skill will help you to coordinate other members of the staff, especially those within your team, the sales reps, right, the storekeeper, the open market sales reps, the van sales reps, just those that are within your team. Alright, so with good sense of with good leadership skill, you will be able to do what? Coordinate them and make them to cooperate, alright, in order to achieve the central goal. Alright, so number 4, detail oriented. Let the HR manager know that you are giving attention to details. You are not a kind of personality that does things anyhow. You pay attention to details in order to understand what should be done and what not should be done. Alright, that you don't do things in a nonchalant manner. Alright, so you do what? You pay attention to details in order to find out the best way to display your responsibility. Alright, so number 6, timekeeper. Alright, then the employers are you are time conscious, that you like anything you want to do, you do it with time. Right, so in everything, time is very, very important. So if you are presenting this in this manner, you give examples. Right, for example, by 8 o'clock, all staff members must have clock in. Right, by 9 o'clock, all offices have opened. Right, the store is open. Right, the computers are on, the generator is on. Right, so everything is in place by 9 o'clock. Then by 10 o'clock, marketers are out, sales reps are out, so everything happens timely. So you are a time conscious person, and if you want to go for business, you schedule your time. Alright, time to go to the market, talk to your customers, time to visit customers, time to visit clients, and time to return back to the company to report to your line manager. So being time conscious is the key. It's a very strong strength that you can use in front of your employers. Alright, so number 7, business planner. Wow, tell them this is the time to talk about your organizational skill. You are a business planner. You don't just wake up and start doing things. You sit down to do what? To plan things, right? So through the planning, you should be able to know that this is what you are going to achieve next year. Through planning, you create your financial year budget, the year budget, right? The annual budget, what you want your company to achieve this year. Right? Even possible, if possible, what you want the company to achieve the upper year. Alright, so through planning, you do what? You have sense of coordination. Things don't just caught you by emergency. You plan things well and you see them play out exactly as you have planned them. It's a very, very nice skill. Planning. Plan ahead of time. Plan things before they happen. Right? So it's a very, very strong skill that you can use. Never skip that. Right? Then number 8, goal-oriented. Wonderful. You have to let the employer know that you create goals. Come on, you create goals for yourself, and every company do what? Create goals. These goals have been in place, and this goal has formed their primary objective, and that is why they want to employ you, right? To help them to achieve the goal by your contribution, by your effort, right? So you are a goal-oriented personality. Let them know about this, because this is exactly what they want to hear from you. If you have these qualities or these strengths I am mentioning, definitely you are going to hook your employer at the end of your interview, because these are the points that they want to hear from you before they finally conclude who they will give this job position, who they will give this offer. All right. Then number 9, new opportunities. Let them know that you can identify new opportunities, that you have this strong communication skill that you use to identify opportunities. Let me tell you one thing about communication. Communication is a very strong instrument within a social setting, right? So without communication, there is no sales. Without communication, there is no business, all right? Because if you tell me what you are selling, that is when I will do what? I will show interest. So you can tell your employer that you have a strong communication skill which you use to identify opportunities, new opportunities. Every employers want the employee who will come and do what? Expand the business size, expand the business territory, all right? So let them know that you have this attribute, this skill of identifying new opportunities. All right, you are not just coming to base on the already established opportunities, right? You are not just coming to base on the number of customers they already have. Identifying new opportunity includes or entails bringing in more business opportunities, bringing more customers in addition to the one already built by the company. Alright, so you let them know that you are coming to identify new opportunities, and this is your strength. Alright, you provide a scenario where you have used it in your previous company. Alright, to increase sales, provide a scenario, give an example through your experience. Alright, this will give your employer the perception or the knowledge or the understanding that you are real. Make everything real, right? Don't just lie, don't formulate things. Be truthful, be straight to the point, and let your point be convincing. Try to give them a convincing point. Remember, you are trying to market yourself. You are not marketing me, right? And whoever that is marketing himself is doing what? Is very serious, is me. Alright? So make sure you are on top of your discussion, make sure you are on top of your game. Alright, by giving live examples where you have done this already. Before you mention them, the employers already know but they want to see how you will communicate your ideas. Alright, so identifying new opportunity is the best thing for you, and that is the kind of candidate they are looking for. Someone who will come and do what? Give them more connections, more business opportunities that will do what? That will increase productivity. Alright, so these are the 9 points that I promise you that I'm going to give you. Alright, so without wasting time, I'm going to give you additional 5 points, alright, that you can use to do what? To defend yourself before employers when they ask you these questions. What are your strengths and your weaknesses? Alright, I'm going to give you this acronym called CAN DO. CANDO, can do. It's going to appear on the screen right now. Okay, so C stands for courage, A stands for accountability, N stands for networking, D stands for drive, and O stands for oneness. Alright, now let me go into details. The first letter, which is C, is courage. You can tell your employer that you are a very, very courageous human being. Alright, it's a very strong skill that you can use as your strength, that you are very courageous in whatever you do. You don't fear anything. You make sure that whatever you promise to do, you make sure you are doing so to the point. You make sure that you are not discouraged no matter the circumstances of its nature. Then, for letter A, which is accountability, you let your employer know that you are very, very accountable in whatever thing you do. Alright, so this will give them the perception that you are a trustworthy human being, because every employer wants to employ a candidate who is trustworthy, a candidate who doesn't steal, a candidate that everything that is under your care is 100% intact and secure. Alright, so let them know that you are accountable. You are accountable when it comes to company funds. You are accountable when it comes to company stock. You are accountable when it comes to resources. You are accountable when it comes to properties. You are accountable when it comes to products and services. Alright, so it's a very strong skill, it's a very strong strength you can use to defend yourself before your hiring managers. Then the letter N, which is networking. When I talk about networking, I'm not talking about MTN, Glo, Airtel. I am talking about connectivity, the connection, right? You have this skill of building a wonderful team, all right, through connectivity, all right? So you drive network. You have this skill of connecting business. You have this skill of connecting members of staff, making sure that everyone is on the same page in order to achieve sales, right? Then the letter D, drive. You have the capacity to drive the company forward. You have the capacity to drive the business forward, right? You have all it takes to do what? To make sure that everything is going forward, all right? That is the driving skill that I mean. Then the letter O is oneness. Oneness, that you have the skill or the ability to make sure that everyone is under the same umbrella. Other members of the staff, right? To make sure that you have sense of organization, right? That every members of the staff, both the ones under your team, that everyone is in one umbrella, in one family. Alright, so you make sure that you are a kind of personality that makes sure that everyone is on the same page. Alright, so this is a very wonderful skill, and that's the final points you can use to defend yourself before your employer. Alright, now I'm going to give you the best way to respond to your weaknesses. Alright, so when an employer asks you, tell us what are your strengths and your weaknesses, now you have provided a very best answer for your strengths. So right now I'm going to give you the right answers for your weaknesses. Alright, so before we continue, if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit on that subscribe button right now on the screen. It's not going to cost you anything. Alright, like this video, give me a thumbs up. Alright, this will motivate me to do more contents like this. Alright, so let's proceed. Okay, so when an employer asks you, tell us your strengths and your weaknesses, when you want to answer your weaknesses, make sure, number one, make sure that the skill you want to use as your weakness is not the basic requirement for the job position you are looking for. if you ever make mention of the basic requirement or the primary skill that is needed for that job position you are looking for, definitely that is going to disqualify you, because employer is sure. This is a trickish question. Try to understand. It's a very trickish question. Employer is more interested on your weakness. So therefore, you have to be very, very careful when you want to talk about your weaknesses. Never you use any point or any skill that is more needed for that job position you are looking for. All right. For example, you want to apply for a sales rep, or you want to apply for a marketing manager. All right. You go and tell the employer that one of your weaknesses is that you don't talk to people. You find it difficult to talk to people. Definitely you have disqualified yourself, because without communication there is no sales. Alright, so try to understand where I'm going. Don't use the basic requirement for that job position as your weakness. Alright, because if you don't talk to people, how will you make sales? Did you understand? So make sure you are on top of your game. Alright, so let me give you about 4 points you can use as your weaknesses. Number 1, signal. You can tell your employer that it's not every signal you understand, but you are working to improve. You are working so hard, to improve on them. Probably that in the past, the previous job you did, the first 30 days you worked, you find it difficult to understand your boss signal, right? Your line manager, someone you are reporting to. There was a time that he gave you a sign while customer was in the presence of customer, because there is this thing that he don't want to mention before the customer. So he gave you a sign which you felt you didn't just really get it, but after some time you were able to work well with your line manager and you have improved on it, and you are continuously working to improve if you were given the opportunity to work in their company. So come on, this is understandable. You must not know everything. You must not get every sign. So the more you are given opportunity, that you are going to improve, which means if they hire you or if they employ you, you are going to liaise and work with them, that in a shortest time, like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, within the time of probation, you will be able to understand the signs that your company use in communication, especially when customers are around and they want to use those signals to communicate. Then number 2, public speaking. You can tell your hiring managers that you are still struggling with public speaking, but you are working tirelessly to improve on this, alright? That you're not the type that, talk in public because of this nervousness, alright? That you feel shy when you see large crowd. This is understandable, alright? But make sure you don't use it if it is the primary function of that job position you are looking for, alright? But this is understandable in any field so far. It's not everybody that can talk in public. So that's number 2 point for you. Then number 3, impatience. You can tell your employer that you are still struggling with impatience, that most times you rush into taking decisions for certain things which lead you to make mistakes sometimes, alright? But you are working to improve on it by making sure you are not in a haste to do things to avoid mistakes. This is very good. Everybody, most times we find it very, very easy to do things very fast because of what we want to accomplish fast. We want to get things done fast. So most times we rush in decision making in order to do what? In order to come out with something tangible. But at the end of the day, it's obvious, probably 50-50. You either make mistake or you're on top of the game. So it can be someone's weakness. Even the hiring managers, they know. Alright, so number 4 point, yes, all the time. You can tell the recruitment panel that most times you find it difficult to say no to people, and this has been one of your weaknesses, that most times you say yes over something you would have said no, because you want to make people happy, especially when it comes to members of your team. Alright, that you always say yes, alright, but at the end of the day you discover this is a very big challenge, but you are working to improve on it, alright? So employer will know that actually someone who is saying yes to people actually want to create a very favorable environment for people, to work in. All right, so you will be seeing you as a good personality, all right, like someone who has good heart, the heart of gold, right? But then you are improving, you are working on it in order to improve, so that it's not virtually everything you can just say yes. All right, so that is it on how to respond to this most difficult interview questions. I hope you have enjoyed a lot from this content, right? So if you have not subscribed to this channel, come on, it's not going to take you anything to hit on the subscribe button right now on the screen. All right, give me a thumbs up. All right, if you have any question, drop it at the comment section, and I promise you I'm going to give you the answer within 24 hours, if not immediately. All right, so I create content every week on interview questions and answers, and as you are looking for a good job for yourself, I am praying for you and I'm wishing you success. For those of you that are going for interview next week, I'm wishing you all the best. Make sure you watch this video over and over again. That will give you enough time to prepare yourself. You can even, speak in front of your mirror. You can rehearse and rehearse and rehearse. All right, take a pen and jotter and note down the points I've created so far in this video, and practice. All right, practice makes perfect. All right, so before you know it, everything will be up here, and when you are speaking before your employers, you will be on top of your game. All right, so I'm wishing you all the best as you are preparing for your upcoming interview. Mind you, this is not the end of your life. If they have not called you, make sure you stay positive. They will call you at the right time, and you're going to get the best job position for yourself. Don't lose hope. Do not despair. Don't feel, oh, they have not called me. Have I failed? No, stay positive. All right, everyone had undergone the same experience, so stay positive. Keep on making research, information from the right source, and you are going to see yourself in a flying color. All right, so here we mark the end of this video. All right, give me a thumbs up, share the video. Make sure you share this video to people that might be in need of it. Students, they might be in need of this video. All right, this will help them to prepare on time. All right, so immediately you are dropping your pen, start applying. All right, some students even started applying even while they were in their final year. All right, so this is also good for graduates, those who are looking for jobs for themselves. My job is to do a creative research and provide you with all the necessary skills and all the necessary answers you need for your interview. All right, so here we mark the end of this video. Stay positive and see you in my next video. Bye bye.